Hi everybody, I wanted to give you some video feedback. I'm going to be looking at these as a first-time site visitor, even though I've seen them. I want to see how they're going to function, the usability, just some overall layout or other important changes that you need to make for your week 4. All right, I'm going to just jump right in. Harriet, this is just beautiful, the coloring and everything. It feels great, so soothing. I hope this is your image because that's super important. I think maybe it is. And what you'll want to do is make sure you label these correctly, a name for that. Okay. Do make sure that you use uppercase I's throughout and close up any gaps. Let's see. We'll try some of your buttons here. Okay, so it takes a minute, which possibly means that this is a large file here, image file. I feel like this isn't yours. I feel like that's template. Anything template must come out, all right? And I can tell you, having to search through other Wix templates to find and see that something isn't somebody's work is really time consuming. So I'm just going to trust you to take out everything. This goes for everybody. Anything that's not yours, I'm going to trust that you take it out, right? Here you're going to want to say what type of editor you are, right? Because there's copywriting editors, and there's film editors, video editors, things like that. So do make sure that you indicate that you're a video editor, for example, just to be super clear. And this button you can take off. Okay, it is going back. You might want it to instead, something's a big file here, because when I select bio, it is taking a moment. I would probably call this portfolio and link it to your portfolio page. Up here in your navigation header, you will want to say what you do. So you have like a slogan here, but you want to tell them that you're the cinematographer, filmmaker, storyteller. This actually would probably go down here, but you want your skill set to be immediately available on every page, right? Okay, these buttons are taking time. And I'm waiting to see if there's something here. I'm not sure there is. And so you need 2 or 3 examples and with descriptions, and that should be turned in by Monday. And your contact, I would create a new contact page by going to, in your Wix editor, selecting the pages and menu. That's the green icon, the third one down. I would select that and then add a page and select the basic contact page. It will put another contact here just fine. You can take this one off. Also in your pages and menu, you can delete this one. And you'll have one here, and it will give you a page, and then you just have to update it with a little bit of info, but it will have the form that's required, and that's the quickest way to do it. All right, okay. One more thing. Let's check your mobile. Okay. Probably put that at the top, and then what you do here, you might want to make it just one word, like storyteller or something, filmmaker, because it won't have a lot of space there. You're linked up, that's great. Let's make sure that this text box is extended so this M comes up on the first line. Okay. So yeah, double check your desktop. And label things. All right, great job. I'm looking forward to seeing the finish next week. Hey, James, I understood you made a few changes, I think you said. Great, love it, clean. Might want a thumbnail image here. Linked up, linked up. This isn't feeling, the background, I would use a solid like this color or something. That print background isn't picking up your, streamlined vibe there, but, points aren't lost or something like that. Let's avoid stacking. So by that I mean we've got about. I think we only need this once here since it's right here. Now if it were up here, that would be different, but it's right here. I think I would bring this up a hair, take that out, and just put it there. You know what you can do? Search engines like heading ones, and this is probably a heading one, but you could label this a heading one and make your header smaller if you only have one heading one. If you have multiple, that would be different, but you can set the size for your heading ones. It may not be worth it here because it may take a few steps, but just something to think about. Yeah, a little bit of stacking. Okay. Working, I would consider freezing this by going up to your header. It's an orange icon here, selecting the gear and heading scrolls and then freeze it, and it will always be there. So when you go here, you don't have to come up here. Now you're thinking, well, it's right here, but when someone's looking for it, they want to be able to use your navigation. Okay, great job with your labels. Nice. Let's take a look. Check out whether you want that uppercase. Let's check your mobile. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking because you have a straight corner there and a straight angle there, I would probably use that in your get in touch box too. Again, not going to lose points, just something to think about. And it may or may not look better, but okay, this happens sometimes. You want to make sure your mobile is also linked so that it lands in the right place too. So check your anchors. All right. And that is one benefit that when people create a second contact page that's by itself, it will automatically link and the function will be there. All right. Great job. Color's great. Love the image. All good. Can't wait to see whatever little edits you make. Let's see, you are hooked up. So yeah, you're in pretty good shape. All right, let's look at the next. Okay, let me reduce this in size. Yeah, make sure I'm looking at it at 100%. I am. Okay. Let's make sure we center things. So you've got 3 here, but these, make sure they're the same size frame. And I believe they're centered probably with your header. This one, maybe not, but we kind of go over here, right? So just something to think about. That means you would use this whole group and kind of bring it over a little bit so that it's also centered. And you want to keep your headers the same, your headings the same. So if you're going to use this, then you're going to use that here. This is much bigger. And here, this looks like it's an in-between of the 2 sizes. And maybe that's what you want to go for. It might be closer to the first one. Yeah. Center these, center this, and make sure you link up to at least a LinkedIn. Good job having this. You don't need the privacy policy, but you may want the accessibility statement for week 4 when you work on accessibility. Okay, and if I select this, all right, I'm looking for descriptions. Okay, so I need a little bit of context for these, all right? You can put a little bit of space here so that you can provide just a little, come on down, provide just a little information on that. Okay, nice. Great shot. I really want to see all that centered. Portfolio. Home. Okay. Let's see. So we frequently don't use the same image twice. I'm going to let that go. It's a nice image and everything. Just keep it in mind throughout your websites. Okay. And this is a new font as far as what you are using. So make sure you're only using like one heading type. If it's going to be this, you would use that throughout. We've got a few here. So we want one style for heading and one style for paragraph text. It makes your site really cohesive and easy for people to make sense of. And it's just a stronger design method. Do put your skill up here. If it's videographer, put that up here. Okay. Generally what you would do is probably in your about mention some of the other skills that you have, right? But let people know your primary skill. So they want to be able to identify you with a skill. And if it's a lot of skills, they'll wonder, how dedicated we are to a career path, which even though I think that these work very well together, just make sure that someone who doesn't know when they land here, they got that idea of what you do. All right, so let's try. So yeah, I would get some photos of you working over the next, few months. Reduce that so the M comes up. Be very careful. I hope that is a free Google Voice number, so people don't have your personal number. And center that. And center. Let's see the navigation. Space here. Just needs to have the same space on both sides. So this is left align here. Left. Okay. All right. Great start. A few more design tweaks and you're there. Nice work. Okay, I think this is Elliot. Yes. And let's make sure your logo is easy to read, which means you would take all of this off for this version, and you do need a version. And we need to know exactly what you do. That needs to be up here. I know it says a media, but there's so many different types of media that we really need to have that spelled out for us. Because, and this is the deal with AI. It is really good at little slogans and sound bites, but for the movement, for the clicks, for the community, it doesn't tell us what you do. So that is the issue with AI. It has to have a lot of information or it just produces really generic stuff. Let's see, in strategy, communities thrive online, social media marketing. Okay, so social media marketing is what you're going to put up there. Careful with icons. Again, this is something AI uses a lot, and we just don't want people to, think that you didn't invest in your site. Okay, you have the year, good job. Okay, let's a little more space here, and I would use the same font style there. Okay. Also, another thing AI does, I may have already told everyone here, is it will add em-dashes. And em-dashes are correct, and I love them, but most people don't use them, and so an AI uses them a lot. So just keep it in mind. Okay. You can ask it not to use them. Eventually, it will still put them in there, but you can try at least. Yeah, a little more space here because you've got this space here, so a little more. Okay. This is where I get an idea of what you do. Okay. All right. A little more. If this is going to be here, you need a bigger space above and below it. You're going to need more line spacing because larger fonts naturally have more spacing usually. So more space here and more space here. So this can stand out by itself because it's not, otherwise it needs to be the same. And I think you mean it to be more, more of an ad type situation there. Okay, this is a good font. It's not the same font, so make sure you're using the same font throughout for your paragraph text. Good job with this, though. Nice. All right. Okay, so this, I'm not sure you need it because I can't see what it is. You would have to have a thumbnail there of some sort, all right? But your work is good. I would, potentially lead with that because this page seems less informative than this or this. And the contact isn't either, it's a very large file with large images. I would go back here, you can go into your Wix editor and where you have the A icon with the color drop, that's your site design, select that. Then it will open up to background and select a color, black or something, and this image will disappear. And you need that. You also need a form for this course, all right? All right. So if this is your entire header, I would probably bring this up, try and reduce the header depth a little bit, and then put it on a solid background so that it doesn't overlap, the words don't overlap like this. I would say, I mean, if it were a design decision, it isn't because it's overlapping, but if you put it over here, it won't fit. But if you were using that concept, then it would always be there and it wouldn't overlap with anything, and then it would look intentional. Okay, you can reduce that, or mail.com, I don't mind it being maybe Gmail goes here, the G, so because it's broken, that line. All right, but, and here's this here, so why wasn't it on your contact page? There it is. Because it was. Great. Okay. Let's see, we looked at mobile, we looked at everything. So you're in good shape. Let's take off the login, just select it and delete it. And you'll be good there. Yeah, just a few tweaks, the group's doing well. Okay. Let's see. Let's be consistent with our spacing here. I would probably left align that, bring that to the left align that, and bring that to the left. That's usually the easiest and works best. You can bring this up so we're getting to your work sooner, the main content. Okay, there's a large file somewhere. Bring this up. Okay. Jermaine, is this your image? Because it looks like AI and so I'm not sure this is even a real place. I would not put it there, even though it might look great. It's not, advertising the real thing, and you don't want to have a problem with that. So I would put, you have PodHub Live. So I get it, it's a podcast, so I'm not going to say you need to be clearer up here. You do need to get into your content sooner when they land on the page, the important content. Okay, so there's your, and I'm wondering what this has to do with podcasting. Do you have some podcasts? Like, close this up, because that's what you need here. Maybe yeah, so you will want to begin to replace your Leaf Institute items with definitely your podcasts, or you would need to change this and put your name and, put video editor. Try not to have these disappear, so your rollover color needs to be something else. And is this going to be a contact form? We need a contact form. And yeah, so the accessibility, there's just a bit of a conflict on the message. So it's podcast, but that's not what's in your portfolio. All right, you need a contact form, and take this off since it's not actually leading to an accountability section or page. All right, so let's look at the mobile. So I know I tell you guys what needs to be fixed, but that's the quickest way. You're all coming along really, really well. This is super legible. Love that. Good photo. There's your list. Maybe it came up eventually. But yeah, so your goal is going to be to have podcast examples. And you'll want to make sure that you have navigation on your mobile. It may be there and it's in black, but I'm not finding it. So that's an issue there that you definitely want to fix. I'm going to see if I have a way of accessing that. But of course, you're clients won't. They will just leave. Okay, so you need navigation here. The bars. I'm looking for it, and I don't see it. All right. All right. So I think that's what we're doing for this. And so you'll want to go over all of these. Make sure you make a bulleted list because you'll be required as a task to write those down for your submission when you submit your revision. And so, yeah, you've had a great month. You've all created a website in just a few weeks. So kudos there. I look forward to seeing what you produce this week, and contact me with any questions. Have a great evening.